Coming up, Rogers Park residents are struggling between Loyola's constant construction and tensions with property owners.
Plus, Loyola athletics lose two big names following the end of basketball season.
I'm Marissa Wilson.
And I'm Aaliyah Solano.
All this and so much more on Rambler Roundup.
Loyola's Lakeshore campus is getting a makeover, but residents are not pleased with how far it's gone.
Hello Ramblers, my name is Joe Mangold. Now, many of you might be wondering what the buzz on Fizz is, with students posting LUC stands for Loyola under construction. Well, here we have not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, but 7 total sites that are currently under construction, seemingly abandoned or not even started yet. For a school that reported its total assets of $2.65 billion, they seem to always be stalling construction and renovations. Loyola students are not the only ones with an opinion on the matter. Here are 2 Rogers Park residents that have lived here for 20 years. Rob, who is a teacher, and Matt, who is a former construction worker.
For me, it feels like there's more construction than is needed. If you have faculty, that money goes towards raises for them, especially for adjunct professors, instead of building new facilities or just updating facilities instead of raising them and building.
And my take on it is, I was in construction for several years, and so you will see buildings come up and be torn down. My feeling is I've seen several buildings torn down at Loyola that there was no need to tear them down.
Yeah.
Well, Ramblers, looks like we will have to wait and see if Loyola will actually make some progress or if they will continue to demolish the buildings of Rogers Park one brick at a time. From Rambler Roundup, this is Joe Mangold. Now let's give this one back to the anchors.
Thanks, Joe. Also in Rogers Park, a landlord and his tenants are at odds over high costs and maintenance concerns. Reporter Mekdes Desta is live in the newsroom. Mekdes, how are these renters reacting to rent spikes?
Well, Aaliyah, with ongoing rent struggles in the city, a group of renters in Rogers Park are utilizing their rights to send a message.
Aminur Rahman Khan, also known as Imran Khan, is a Chicago real estate attorney and landlord with Arc Management, who is currently under scrutiny after purchasing property in Rogers Park and raising the rent prices up to 70 to 80%.
It's because he say we are liars. Yeah.
For defamation, yeah.
And this one is Jake Marshall's.
Is that his lawyer? That's your lawyer.
Yeah.
Khan denies these allegations and has sued the All-Chicago Tenant Alliance along with the union member group formed in retaliation to this rent increase. Many of the residents residing in these properties are Hispanic and Latino who have lived in the buildings for decades.
My name is Virginia Ortiz. I live in here for 28 years, and I'm part of the union Fuerzas Activas de la Daimen.
In retaliation, tenants formed a union called the Fuerza Activas de la Daimen and attempt to negotiate for more reasonable rent prices and the necessary repairs that need to be made to their apartment.
Estamos pagando actualmente 900 y incluso nos mandaron cartas que nos iban a aumentar $500. Y en esa carta también decía que íbamos a pagar lo que era basura, lo que era la yarda, entonces muchas cosas que nos estaban poniendo como cargos extras.
As resistance grew and tenants grew increasingly frustrated, the conflict escalated when Khan filed a lawsuit against the union members and tenant right organizers, accusing them of defamation and interfering with the business.
He's rude, He say if you don't like it, you can go. I say no, we want to stay. It's at home. It's our home. But he say no. You have to pay the rent. If you don't want to pay, get out. Por can. Yeah. All the time I send a message for him.
Yes.
Please come with us and talk with us. Stop to do this thing for us. It's a bad thing for everybody.
According to Block Club Chicago reports, the lawsuit claims that Khan's reputation was harmed by labeling him a slumlord and encourages tenants
We are not
to
garbage,
strike.
we are not animals. We are person like them.
Today, it's important that young renters especially understand their renters' rights and how and when to speak up for yourself.
When it came to renters' rights and stuff, I feel like I did a lot of research outside of it just because I was a pre-law student at the time, so I was kind of interested in the contractual side of things. And I always am paranoid about that for workers and residents in this case to express what they believe they deserve from the money that they're paying. The same way you're holding up your end of the contract, the landlord should be expected to hold up theirs, and I think unions can be very effective.
I am actually not aware of my renters' rights. Obviously, like, I know that like landlords aren't like supposed to like take advantage of their renters, but like I don't know if there's anything like specifically for me like that I should be aware of. Between the 2 years when we re-signed our lease, there was an increase in the rent. We didn't really like get any notification about it. She was just kind of like, your rent's going up.
Renters aren't the only Chicagoans exercising their rights. Political advocates in the area continue to gather to protest the Trump administration's policies. On March 28th, Chicago hosted another No Kings rally with an estimated 200,000 participants. Similar rallies, like the protest held in October 2025, mainly critique the Trump administration's harsh immigration reform. Although most ICE agents have left Chicago, protest-worthy issues have stuck around. A Loyola student says that they take issue with the U.S.'s participation in the war in Iran.
It's not going to make that much of a difference to like everyday Americans, and like all of that money that he wants to like pull from other parts of like the U.S. budget could be spent towards other things that people would benefit a lot more from than like some sort of like political like theater that he's like putting on.
However, despite protests, the White House's policies remain unchanged. Iran has refused to comply with a peace deal, and in retaliation, Trump plans to block the Hormuz Strait, a main avenue for international trade. With oil and gas prices increasing sharply, many worry how this strategy will further impact the American economy. We'll be right back after this.
Flocks of teens are organizing big gatherings in Chicago neighborhoods, leading to property damage and arrests. Hector Sanchez spoke with a local business owner to learn more.
Chicago is seeing a surge of so-called teen takeovers, and they're no longer just a downtown problem.
Since early April, at least half a dozen large gatherings, organized through social media, have swept through the city and suburbs, with some meetups seeing over 500 teens in attendance. In Hyde Park, over 30 cars were damaged. Near the Magnificent Mile, 8 teens were arrested. And in suburban Matson, Illinois, one business owner says she's had enough. Dondrina Murray had worked to become the owner of a Culver's located on Cicero Avenue, but her hard work turned sour as students got out of school and had gathered at her restaurant. Her store vandalized. She took to social media with a message expressing frustration and concerns that had since gone viral. Quote, "Yesterday was the last straw for me. I can no longer have this nonsense at my location. Kids aren't allowed at my location without parents' supervision." City officials are pushing for stricter curfews and stiffer fines, with some fines increasing from $250 to $1,000. But community leaders say the real question is why teens don't have anywhere else to go. Reporting for Rambler Roundup, I'm Hector Sanchez.
Thanks, Hector. Hopefully these takeovers come to an end before schools close for this summer. With Earth Day just a week away, Alderwoman Maria Haddon is seeking volunteers to help give back to the planet by participating in the annual citywide cleanup. The Clean and Green event will take place this Saturday from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. To sign up, visit bit.ly/cleanandgreen2026.
As summer swiftly approaches, students are hoping to secure an internship position. However, career opportunities are looking scarce. We have Arianna Spruille live in the newsroom to tell us more. Arianna, how is the internship going for Loyola students?
Thanks, Marissa. Students are struggling to find summer positions this year more than ever, but Loyola does provide resources you may not know about.
The end of the semester is right around the corner, meaning there are fewer opportunities to secure an internship this semester. The deadline for summer internship applications is approaching, leaving students without an internship looking to gain career experience over the summer.
Internships has been pretty hard. I've sent out a few on Handshake, applications out on Handshake, and it's hard to get responses back from that and other outside sources.
Career Services offers resources for students to aid in the job search. From resume building workshops and career fairs, these opportunities allow students to meet with employers and make an impression.
Like, I'm pretty sure that there's been internship fairs here, which is my part. That's for me to go to.
Earlier today, Career Services hosted the 2026 All Majors Virtual Internship and Career Fair, where students from all majors interacted with recruiters through video or audio chat. The Virtual Careers Fair, open to all majors, included recruiters from the Illinois Department of Human Services, Teach for America, and Lakefront Pictures. According to a study released by the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, labor market conditions worsened for college graduates at the end of 2025. The unemployment rate climbed to 5.7%, the highest it's been since the COVID-19 pandemic. For the School of Communication students, attendance at one internship orientation is required to be enrolled in the internship course. The final orientation will be May 21st at 5 p.m., and the deadline for applications is May 26th. For Rambler Roundup, I'm Arianna Spruille.
Thank you, Arianna. Sometimes you have to go beyond LinkedIn.
To get connected, visit luc.edu/career. We'll be right back after this.
The mission of Aaron's Farm is to rescue animals and educate through their stories. Now, we want to reach as many kids as we can through the animal stories, through their friendships, to show that they're like us. Back to when I was a kid, I was obsessed with animals and would have died to be taken to a show like this.
Take a look at him. First of all, you'll notice that he's got sharp claws because he's climbing up on me and they're so sharp.
I think this farm is different from other educational farms or places around because we're not like a petting zoo. It's a hands-on science class, which you're not getting in a petting zoo type environment. My dream was to work with children and animals, and I was able to make that dream come true. And I want that for all these kids. I want their dreams to come true too.
Aaron's Farm. Rescue. Sanctuary. Advocacy. To find out more about Aaron's Farm and how to schedule a visit, go to aaronsfarm.net or connect on Facebook at Aaron's Farm 1.
There's changes going on throughout Loyola and the Rogers Park neighborhood. But there's also some big changes happening within Loyola athletics. Bertrand Allen joins us with all the updates.
Thanks, Marissa. The women's basketball team wrapped up their season after a great run in the Women's National Invitation Tournament. The Ramblers ended their season 16-18 with a 9-9 conference record. In the A-10 Conference Championship playoffs, the Ramblers beat St. Bonaventure 61-59 and then lost to Rhode Island 64-71. The Ramblers were fortunate enough to make an appearance in the WNIT, the team's first in program history. They beat Norfolk State University in the first round 58-54 and then defeated Florida Gulf Coast University 62-56 in the second round. They lost to George Washington 72-61 in the Super 16 to end off their season. Graduate student Alexis Mobley and freshman Alex Ann Bissett led the team scoring throughout the season, Mobley averaging 11.9 points per game and Bissett averaging 11.3 points per game. The Ramblers' future will look a little different in the front office as there have been some changes for the start of the offseason going into next season. At the end of their season, head coach of the women's basketball team, Allison Guth, decided to resign after 4 seasons with the Ramblers. Throughout her tenure, she tallied up a 50-75 record. She led the Ramblers to their first ever Women's National Invitation Tournament and multiple postseason wins for the first time in program history. Guth said, quote, "I have made the difficult decision to resign from my position as head coach of Loyola Chicago. It is with deep love and respect for the opportunity that I communicate my decision based on my personal need for more time with my family." On Sunday, April 12th, former associate head coach at Kansas, Morgan Page, was named the next head coach for the Ramblers, who looks to continue Guth's success. We wish Coach Guth nothing but the best in her future, and we appreciate her dedication to the team and community. On the men's side of basketball, junior Miles Rubin announced on Instagram Wednesday, April 8th, that he has entered the transfer portal with 1 more year of eligibility remaining. The 6'10 center averaged 11.3 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 2.3 blocks per game in his last season with the Ramblers. During his time at Loyola, Rubin was the A-10 Rookie of the Week during his first season, also being a part of the 2023-24 A-10 All-Rookie team, A-10 All-Defensive Team, 2 All-Academic Team, and CSE Academic All-District across his time with the Ramblers. On Sunday, April 12th, Ruben announced his commitment to the University of Tennessee. And an even more interesting move that happened in the WNBA was Chicago Sky star Angel Reese, the second-year, 2-time WNBA All-Star power forward, arguably one of the faces of the WNBA, was traded on April 6th to the Atlanta Dream in exchange for a 2027 first-round pick and a 2028 first-round pick. Reese played and started in all games for the Sky during the 2024 season and 2025 season up until she got traded. She averaged over 14 points per game, almost 13 rebounds per game, and 2.7 assists per game. The Atlanta Dream picked up a big player during the offseason. Ticket sales have increased by 15%. Reese's new Dream jersey has already sold out online, and she's getting along amazing with her teammates. At the end of the day, who's happier after this trade, the Dream or the Sky? I'm Burchard Allen, sending this back to the anchors.
Thanks, Burchard. And that wraps it up for this week's episode of Rambler Roundup.
Check us out on Instagram at LUC Rambler Roundup for updates, or catch us every other Thursday on YouTube at Rambler Roundup Chicago.
I'm Marissa Wilson.
And I'm Aaliyah Solano.
We'll see you next time on Rambler Roundup.